live. And thank you so much for joining me as usual. After reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them to join us. The Maiyegun today. Maiyegun is live. And if you have done that already, thank you. And to those that will still, that are yet to do theirs, please do. Right? So tonight we are starting from the drama and all that happened at the National Assembly today, especially the Senate, where the APC Egbekegbe have managed to give you an impression that, oh, Tinubu just made this wonderful appointment of somebody who they believe or they wanted to believe is probably capable of ending this jihadism, this Islamic terrorism. And their sponsor in that contraption, that person is the supposedly retired former chief of defense staff, General Christopher Musa. You know him. So he's been in the news, especially in the last 48 hours. In fact, the media, not just the media, including especially the online Ronukus, they have been all over the place, as if to say it wasn't the same guy in charge of the defense, commanding thousands of troops, including those he met severally in the, they call it the theater, where they are fighting the war. So it's like a new guy, rebranded and being made to possibly be your savior. Some even said Musa is the Tifnumbu's best appointment so far. Anyway, maybe Akpabiole and gang also believe same. So Musa was to be screened as the Minister of Defense or Defense Minister for Nigeria to replace Badaru, who was removed as part of the conditions that Ribadom and others agreed to with America. But that's not the point. Would Musa be the solution, final solution, the lasting solution, the missing part of the puzzle of eradicating this Fulani terrorism, as well as the Islamic jihadism or terrorism in Nigeria, as they have become an industry, right? That's a big question. If you ask me, I want to be optimistic, but I can't, because I understand these guys to some extent until I am proven wrong, right? But Akpabiole said when Musa was ushered into the Nigerian Senate, right? Before the senators will be, as usual, asking some of the ridiculous questions, stupid questions that at the end of the day, there's no real closure, right? But it's drama. So when Musa arrived, some of their senators were asking that, he should just take a bow. Well, we've heard about him. He's done great things. He's blah, 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 blah. It's actually crazy when you watch the Nigerian lawmakers discuss important issues in their chamber. They are like me and you, right? The difference is that they get paid. We don't get paid. So they rant, because it's like National Assembly of Nigeria is like the rant headquarters of Nigeria. Here you get. They all come around and say all these jargons, nonsense, back and forth. But that was it. That's it. Nothing else happened after that. They presented themselves like they were just some form of, some rabble-rousers grouped together, making noise. Not like legislators who have legislative power, including, the power to actually, right, probe the supposed executive that they love to act as a rubber stamp anyway. But no, they don't pretend to have that power. However, today, it was the same Akpabiole that rose and said, hey, senators, we can't do that. The whole country is like in trouble, to be honest, right? Donald Trump is onto us. We can't let somebody that we believe should have an idea or solution. Listen, they believe that Musa is bringing one new idea. Here you get that Musa is going to be your Captain Holmes, the one with the idea of how to So Akpabiole was like, we need to bring him on. I mean, we need to question him. He needs to say things. Nigerians want to hear his plan. Nothing new, by the way. And that's where we're going to start from this evening. Musa and the Nigeria senators, the first part of the drama. And well, he went on to say, you know, he as the CDS, when he was a CDS, Chief of the Defense Staff, that he never sanctioned any form of negotiation with terrorists. He also lied. He's a liar too. And like I said, I am not optimistic. At the same time, I don't want to sound too pessimistic as well. All right. But what I'm telling you right now is true. It was under Bokwari they started Operation Safe Corridor. Tinubu came and he continued the Operation Safe Corridor, which allowed the Nigerian army plus some state governments, right, to collaborate together in rehabilitating repentant terrorists. Musa was a CDS. All of them knew about it. Rehabilitation of repentant terrorists. He sanctioned it. He never ended it. However, he condemned it at the National Assembly hearing. He said, you know what, but we'll get to that part. Let's go watch the drama part first. It's a long watch. All right. Yeah. So like the broadcast if you haven't already, share it as well if you haven't. And then sit back and watch this episode that first played out when Musa was ushered in. And in their typical hypocritical way, right? They wanted him to take a bow and go. You get what I mean? But Akpabiole, surprisingly, halted that to what later happened. Now watch this. First, the Akpabiole part.
President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present. Then when you go to closure of debates, section 58, after a question has been proposed, which I want to propose, a senator rising in his place may claim to move that the question be now put. Sir, can I stop here just to expatiate? This is a chief of defense staff that had been in the system. He knew everything, and we are talking about security, and he's going to man a ministry that will be handling security matters for this country. Very sensitive. So I believe that we have had close sessions with him severally, and some of the questions that will be asked here and the responses may not be well dispensed at this moment. So I feel we should just allow this gentleman to take a bow and go. Not carry. There's not. This is it. There is nothing no here. There is nothing no here. We have asked him all these questions before at closed session. Do you want to ask here? Mr. President is to rule. Most of the questions are security questions. Most of the questions are security questions. People want to appear on TV. Order, please. It's not appearing on TV. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. The civil senators, resume your seats, please. Resume your seats, please. The civil senators, then resume your seats. Go back to your seat.
Senator Maiyegun, resume your seat.
Off the camera. Please security matter can be discussed in the open. Let him go. It's not today.
Resume your seat, please. Ambassador President Senator Dino Brown.
Section 62. Senate standing orders. Senate standing orders 2023 as amended. Section 62. Open to section 62. Whenever the President of the Senate or the chairman, as in this case, of the Committee of the Whole, rises, yes, if you are a senator, you know this. Whenever you are sworn in, we give you this. Not for you to go and give it to your children or to keep it in your closet, but for you to read and understand the procedures and the proceedings of the Nigerian Senate. Please, I don't mean to say something that will offend anybody, but I believe this is our own Quran. This is our own Bible. Unless you don't want to be a senator. Whenever the President of the Senate or the chairman rises during a debate, any senator then speaking clerk of the Senate, have you noticed that at that entrance there's a lot of noise? No, but there are people there. Sergeant at Arms, look at the people there now. Get their names down and we make sure that they are changed. Because they engage in too much discussion with senators and disturb us here. They are supposed to keep quiet and do their work, while they allow the Senate to have decorum. Whenever the President of the Senate or the chairman rises during a debate, any senator then speaking or offering to speak shall sit down, and the Senate or the committee shall be silent so that the President of the Senate or the chairman of the Committee of the Whole may be heard without any interruption. I tactically stood up so that those who are old senators will understand why I'm on my feet. Those who are young in the Senate will not understand. So I'm on my feet. Senator Musa, Sani Musa, your point of order is noted. I did not say rejected, but noted. The reason I say so is that the man standing in front of us could be regarded as a solution to the current insecurity in the country. And we are not here on our own. We are here representing our constituents. And our constituents would like to hear from him whether his appointment will enable them to sleep well, whether their children will be safe in schools. So we are not asking him questions because we don't like him. We're asking him questions because our constituents would have loved to ask him questions at a time like this. So if we come here and we do politics of bow and go, this is not a period we should say bow and go. Even Donald Trump is on our neck. We have not yet asked him what his response will be to Donald Trump, the President of America. He is not just anybody. Chief of Defense Staff, a nominee for a Minister of Defense of a country, and you stand up and say you should take a bow and go, with so many questions on the mouth of Nigerians, with over 200 Nigerian children in the bush, kidnapped and being tortured. His appointment is heralded all over Nigeria with happiness, because Nigerians believe he has something to offer. Give the man an opportunity to give Nigerians hope.
Surprise, surprise. Is that what they will say? Surprise, surprise. Akpabiole stood on business. He decided to stand up and say, you know what, I'm not going to sit down to say this. This is serious. Don't tell me that he should take a bow and go. Referring to the same social media they are so afraid of. That, oh, on social media, like Nigerians received his nomination with so much happiness. I right. He's coming to, you know, he understands this security very well. He was there for 2 years, by the way, just in case if you need to be reminded. For over 2 years, actually, just so you know. However, we keep reminding you that it is not the changing of guard. In fact, it is not just a purchasing of weapons that will crush the terrorism. It is the political will. The political will that allows somebody like, well, the same lack of political will that didn't let him do his job when he had the uniform on as a soldier who was also sharing intel with other supposed service chiefs. And all of that intel, all of those things they put together for over 2 years with Tifnumbu has resulted into more death, more Nigerians killed, more Nigerians kidnapped, and more Nigerians school children taken into the bush by these terrorists. So what is he bringing on that? God damn it. What he couldn't do when he was a soldier that gave order is what they expected him to. What he couldn't do when he had the order is what they expected him to come and do now that he's going to be a politician that is always going to be talking. He's already kind of preparing himself. If you have been watching most of his videos, this Musa, if you have been watching most of his interview videos in the last 6-7 months, you will realize that he is no longer talking like a soldier. He's been talking like a politician, in case if you have not been paying attention. So when he was retired, there was this social media frenzy. Like they actually paid people. In case if you don't know, they paid people to trend the supposed disappointment of his, retirement, which in itself, right, probably gets to the ears of Tifnumbu and others. Now they want to bring him back, or they brought him back to now come and do what? Bring these new ideas and be able to show it to Tifnumbu more. What? Again, like I said, I would love to be optimistic, but I know these guys. I do not kind of want to get swayed by that. It's mostly talks. The most important thing is that genuinely, if you want to tackle the insecurity, you first go after the sponsor, many of them that are also in government. That's where you start from. But not to Musa. Somebody said, if we give you 6 months, what you couldn't do for 2 years, would you do it in 6 months? And if you don't do it, we should sack you. And his own answers in this stretch. Please listen or watch this.
Should have asked, had been asked. But it's to say to you, based on where you're coming from, the commendations and accolades that you've gotten from my colleagues, is to say to you that I will be requesting the Senate to give you like what had not been done before. You will be approved, but in principle it will be probational. If within the first 6 months these sensitive questions are not brought to bear in the affirmative, where is Brigadier General who authorized the withdrawal of soldiers 30 minutes before the operation that saw to the kidnapping of the MAGA, 25 children in MAGA, and etc., are not answered, or no progress is seen by the Senate, by extension the country, because the Senate is the country. We represent Nigerians here. If those are not taken care of within